Hey, thanks, folks. Right on. That was fun. All right. I want to tell you a little story. You guys want to hear a story about a song? All right. So we played a couple of winters ago. We played up in Idaho. And I don't know if any of you are from Idaho or been to Idaho. It's a very beautiful state, and I figure there's two reasons that people go to Idaho. One, because they love nature and they love solitude and they love beautiful landscape. The other reason is because they're completely psychotic and they love guns, and they also like to be alone and away from people where they can be crazy. All right? So, with that firmly in mind, we were up in Idaho and we walked into this gig that we had booked as a routing date between Calgary, Alberta and Seattle, Washington. We drove 10 hours through a blizzard and we arrived in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho at the bar where we were supposed to play. And we walked into an 800 capacity heavy metal roadhouse. And the bands that played there had their pictures all over the walls. It was Pantera, 3 Inches of Blood, and Slayer, and us. And we played this 800 capacity heavy metal roadhouse for 3 people. Thank you very much. You can't be proud of everything you've done. The weird thing about this gig was that the guy who owned the bar and had in fact built the bar was this crazy guy. This crazy old guy who was he was a veteran and he'd fought in Vietnam, but he was also, I think, a professional soldier and a mercenary. And he was crazy, and I'm not using that word lightly. When we did our sound check and walked up to the bar, he pulled us. I said, "May I have a Budweiser?" And his response to that request was to pull a 7-inch Bowie knife from a holster, hold it within 6 inches of my head, and say, "Which ear do you like? Because I'm going to cut off the other one and give it to you as a souvenir." So I backed away. He gave me my Budweiser. I took it, and I figured that was okay. Then he started rambling about how he loved to kill things, and he'd been in Vietnam, and he loved killing things so much that he kept re-enlisting. And then eventually he just stayed over there and fought and fought and fought. And it's pretty wild. He came around to our side of the bar, which I didn't like too much. And then he started taking his clothes off. And first he took off his boots and his socks and showed us that half of his foot had been blown clean off by anti-aircraft fire. He said he got that flying an F-4 Phantom. Then he tore off his shirt. He grabbed Roman, our fine percussionist and drummer's hand, placed it right on his abdomen and said, "Can you feel that? That's the size of a football and it's 5 pounds of scar tissue. I got that flying an F-4 Phantom as well." I vowed never to fly an F-4 Phantom after that. Apparently they were decommissioned last year, so nobody will ever have to face that again. But anyway, this guy was totally nuts. And then after he'd scared us with his stories and rambling about death and destruction, he ran off into the back and came out with 4 steaming hot bowls of leek and potato soup. And the soup was pretty good. It was okay. We ate the soup. We played our gig for 3 people on a giant 10-foot riser with 16 speakers on either side of us covered with Jägermeister flags. We were kind of sort of towering over these 3 little people who kind of huddled in front of us like Ewoks facing the Death Star. And we subjected us and them to about 6 songs, stopped the set, thanked them. I walked straight to the back to the office. And there was a young fellow there who was the manager, and I said, "We're out of here, thanks very much." He said, "Hey, I'm sorry there wasn't more people, you know. By the way, were you talking to my old man?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, don't listen to a word he says because he's crazy." So, we packed up our gear and we left. We got a beer out of it, a bowl of potato soup, $6, and a song. I wrote this song for that crazy, awesome guy way the hell up there in Idaho. This is called "My Lizzy is Dying of a Broken Heart Because I've Been Gone So Long," and it goes just like this. I went down in a killing field in a torn up burning aeroplane. How I made it out alive I never could explain. Nor can I say for sure why I returned to fight again. You can't look back at what you've done if the doing never ends. And the wars went on. My Lizzy died of a broken heart 'cause I've been gone so long. Spent my years in Southeast Asia training young men to kill. And at the age of 57, traded in my job for a GI Bill. Went back to Coeur d'Alene with a wife and son I barely knew. With a stack of cash back memories of every anything to do. As I lingered on, my Lizzy died of a broken heart on the grounds of this place and I'm in here every day. It's a rough and tumble roadhouse and an oversized PA. And the bands I'm through 6 nights a week, and in the company I feel free. I scare them with my stories, and I let them drink for free as I ramble along. My Lizzy died of a broken heart as I'm gone. Faces lose their shape, and I don't know who they are. My son takes real good care of me, but he took away my car. I still like to tell my stories, but my memories get stuck, and I can't say for sure if they're true or just something I made up. And I went down in a cornfield in a